My bad, y'all. We had some audio problems, but the Chicago Bulls are taking on, and that I could tell is way too loud in my DAW. The Chicago Bulls are taking on the Orlando Magic today. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get to the content for today, y'all. And let me know if the audio sounds good. There's been some awful technology things going on behind the scenes here today. That's why the live stream starting 15 minutes late. I had everything set up ready to go, but for some reason my sound interface decided to bonk out on me. But I think we're good now. What's going on, y'all? Glad to be back. We haven't done a pregame show in over a week. I don't think we've done a pregame show. So glad to be back to talk about this one, Chicago Bulls versus the Orlando Magic. The Bulls got themselves a good win against the New Orleans Pelicans, a team win. You had, 8 players, I think, scoring double figures in that game for the Chicago Bulls. Now you got to figure out how you're going to do it again. You know, you're going to need it to be a team effort. It's going to have to be a team thing for the rest of the way this season. You're out without Kobe White for a week, Josh Giddey for 2 weeks, Zach Collins for 10 days. You're going to need to be able to play as a team over the course of this one. And let's hope that the Bulls are able to lock in and do what needs to be done. I'm not expecting them to win every game. I'm not expecting them to go on some crazy win streak with the guys being out. But I do want to see a team that competes. That's really what I want to see more than anything. If we can get a team that's competing game in and game out, we'll win the games that we can. We'll lose some that we aren't talented enough to win. And we'll just deal with it at that point. So, that's all you can really ask for. That's all you can really hope for. And we'll see if the Bulls are ready, prepared, and mentally ready. Billy Donovan went with something I did not expect. He started the double big lineup in the last game. Started Jalen and Nikola Vucevic, even though we don't have another legitimate backup center. And it really worked out for the Bulls as far as the rebounding battle, that type of thing, to set a tone pretty early. You may have to go to something similar to that in this game today for the Bulls. And, if Billy Donovan can once again coach a pretty solid game, we'll see if the Bulls can come away with it, man. When it comes to Billy Donovan, you guys know how I feel about Billy. It's either hit or miss for me with Billy Donovan. It can go either way on any given night, any given game, because Billy Donovan is he's an interesting person, is what we'll say, and I'll leave it at that one when it comes to coaching. There's some things that he does that I love. There's some things that he does where I'm like, there ain't no way. There ain't no fucking way. But, hey, that's the Billy Donovan experience, man. That's all I can say on that one. That one is the Billy Donovan experience, and we'll see what we can do with that one today. I didn't expect Billy Donovan to do that double big lineup. Maybe he's taking a new leaf of trying new things. We'll see. With 3 big injuries for another week or two, we'll eventually see Ulbrich brought back up. I think Ulbrich's also dealing with something, if I'm not mistaken. But I wouldn't mind seeing Lachlan Ulbrich get an opportunity. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. Having had an update on Zach Collins' toe. Yes, we heard the same update when we got updates on Josh Giddey and Kobe. So Josh is 2 weeks. Kobe White will be reevaluated in a week. And it was 10 days for Zach Collins, and that was on Wednesday. So he's 2 days into his 10-day period before he's reevaluated. So take that for what you will. Modest needs 30 minutes minimum, then let Modest earn 30 minutes minimum by his play out there. That's the way that I look at it. I know people look at it as you should just get these minutes regardless. I'm somebody where I'm like, hey, if you're not playing well enough or somebody's bringing a dynamic that you're not, you may not play those 30 minutes that game. Hey, I was disappointed that Io didn't have more minutes last game. I don't want to honk losing minutes to Javon Carter. Do you think he'll have a bigger role tonight in moving forward? Keep in mind, I think Io's still on a minutes restriction, if I'm not mistaken. If not, then, I don't know. But keep in mind, Io has been on a minutes restriction almost since he returned back. I don't think he's played over 25 minutes since he came back from injury. I could be mistaken on that. Somebody fact checked me on that one, but I don't think Ayo's played over 25 minutes since he came back. I could check real quick. Let's see. He played 25 in the last game, 32 in the game before that, then 20, 24. So he's only played over there's 2 games at the beginning of December he also played, but I think that was before his injury. I can't remember. But yeah, I think they've been trying to keep him together and make sure he doesn't have a chance to re-aggravate anything. I hope to see Trey Jones continue his success from last week. Let's see. Who do you think will be stepping up the most with Josh Giddey and Kobe? It's going to have to be a collective thing. Of course, Trey Jones has the keys to the offense now. He's going to be running a lot of that because you don't have a lot of players that can create their own shot. But I think you're going to see it through committee. I think you're going to see some games where it's Ayo, some games where it's Kevin Huerter, some games where it's Modest Buzelis, right? The two that I've kind of zeroed in on is I want to see Ayo and Modest really have some major impact for the Bulls over this stretch, but we'll see. Don't like the injuries, but this could be a big stretch for Modest's growth. Billy needs to allow more mid-range. Feel like it would help Modest. Listen, I feel like the mid-range will help a few players on this team, but our head coach, Billy Donovan, does not want us taking mid-range shots. Bad thumbs on both hands. I'm okay with limiting his exposure for now. Exactly. What up, Hayes? Let's hope Billy keeps the same starting double big lineup. I'm not even married to that. I think it's situational, right? Because you're going to want sometimes to bring a big off the bench. When you have the double big lineup to start off with, you don't have any big to bring off the bench. Now, you could stagger their minutes. There are other things that you can do. But I think, this is a game where you do need it. I definitely think that there are going to be some games where I want to see it. There are going to be some games where I feel like maybe you don't have to start the double big lineup, but we'll see what Billy Donovan does. At this point, I don't think he's going to change the lineup each and every game. So until we see it, there's a big reason to believe that it is going to be Jalen and Vooch again. Wagner Bros still out for Orlando. Yes, they're going to be out for quite a while. For all of y'all asking for Anthony Davis, this nigga. Stop using voice to text, Shay. God damn. For all y'all asking for Anthony Davis after last night's game against Philadelphia 76ers, he was looking worse than Joel, and he has bad knees. That's crazy. What's good, Hayes? Another good test tonight against the Magic. Another game to see what players will or won't be here in a couple of weeks with the core of Modest, Trey, Giddey, and Ayo. Kobe, don't forget they did mention Kobe's part of that core. Speaking of the mid-range, Vooch's strongest part of his game was his mid-range and at one point of his career. Well, here's the thing. So Vooch's shot chart has always been a little misleading because it doesn't show you it's not always where you finish the shot. Sometimes they go where you start the shot. So Vooch has always been like a drive, not a straight post up, but a post and dive type player. So some of those weren't. But, as a low post player, that's what he is, the mid to low post, that's where Vooch does go to work at. And, I mean, we'll see. Vooch can't really create his own shot like he used to. He's very point guard reliant now, which every big becomes at some point in their career. That's just where Vooch is right now. And we'll have to see. It's about them finding him in the right spots. Let's make some entry passes consistently. But, we'll see what Vooch can do in this game. Magic matchup isn't always the best for Vooch. Not always the worst either, though. So it's not like he just always plays terrible against the Magic. I just think the Magic are a team that really kind of play into some of his strengths and some of his weaknesses and stuff like that. But this is another game where I'm just excited to see how the Bulls play overall as a team in this one, right? Because you do need so many players to step up. P. Will gave the Chicago Bulls some really good minutes in the last game, for sure. What's up, Hayes? I'd love for us to acquire Keon Ellis to pair with Giddey long-term. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Would you be interested with Michael Porter? Not at that contract price. I'd rather wait till he's a free agent. This is going to be a tough game, but hope we get the win. It's definitely going to be tough. Every game is going to be tough for the Bulls. When they're missing 3 key players. Not only are you just missing 3 players, you're missing 3 key players. 2 of your starting backcourt, and then a player that probably should be your starting center at this point in Zach Collins. So there you go on that one. By the way, love Stacey King, but if I have to hear him tell the Bulls one more time, this is Patrick Williams' time to shine or be aggressive, it's going to drive me crazy. This is who P. Will is. Listen, who are us to tell that man not to be excited about a player on his team? That's just the way I look at it. Like, he's excited. He likes to hype up P. Will. He's done it for a while. I guess we've all were there at one point in time where he hoped P. Will was going to turn into more than what he actually is and was. But at this point, P. Will is P. Will and proven otherwise. Would you rather make the playoffs or get a top 10 pick? Ooh, that's a great question. If you're talking about make the playoffs outright, I'd rather make the playoffs. I'd rather make the playoffs. If we're making the playoffs as not going through the play-in and making the playoffs, I'd rather make the playoffs. Now, if you're asking me about going through the play-in, man, I'd still almost rather make the playoffs. Yo, you calling the game? Me and Pat will be. Look, I don't have a problem if we require Williams from Portland, but require? Choice English there, my boy. Choice English from Portland, but I'm scared because of his injuries. Look, it really depends on what you're giving up. If you're giving up an expiring that you weren't going to keep anyway, I'm not necessarily mad at it. Like I said, Robert Williams is just so oftenly injured. Stylistically, he makes a lot of sense for the Bulls. But, other than that, it's a little difficult. Hayes, do you think that Kobe's value in his next contract will be dropping because of his injuries this season? It's definitely a possibility. It's definitely either a possibility that the overall value could drop, or there's some provisions that are written in there that can get him to the $30 million. So maybe it's like, hey, you play over, let's say we sign you to a 4-year, $30 million per year deal. Maybe it kicks in where he gets bonuses every season he plays over 68 games, like something like that. I don't think it's going to knock him all the way down to like 25 million or anything like that. I think it may knock him down maybe to about the 27, 28 range as far as what they're going to be asking for. Doesn't mean he's going to get it, but I mean maybe they can go as low as that as far as the asking range because of injuries. Man, I'm so mad Noah injured. This would have been a perfect stretch for him. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong, especially with Jalen being in the starting lineup, Zach Collins being out. Him or Lachlan Allbrook definitely could have been a shot for those guys. You're not wrong with that at all. But that's the way the cookie crumbles for the Chicago Bulls, unfortunately, man. Like, it is what it is. When's the last time we got lucky? It's been a minute. So, it is what it is. But hopefully the Bulls just lock in today and they focus and they get a dub today. Keep in mind, this is a Magic team that has not been playing their best basketball over the last 10 games. Now, they're tough on the season. But they haven't been playing their best basketball. The defensive rating has dropped. The offensive rating has even dropped a little bit as well. The offensive rating already wasn't the best. So this is a Magic team that is, they're 5-5 in their last 10, and things have changed for them a little bit, right? They've lost some games to some bad teams too. So let's see what the Bulls can do. The thing that I always say with this is that if you go in and compete and you fight, you never know what you can beat just about any team. It's going to have to take some things to go lucky for you, some things to go perfect, but, you have an opportunity to get in that game. Let's see if they can. As far as just the season, J Huff would be a nice to add another big. Yeah, but here's the thing. If the Bulls would have acquired J Huff this year, all the fans would be like, why are we acquiring this guy who's a net nothing? He's nothing player. He's not going to help us. And look at what he's doing. This is why sometimes you just got to, those people to be look at what he did before. It's like you never know what you'll do called into a certain situation. Did you see Noah's injury? How did it happen? No, none of us saw Noah's injury. Who do you think has the best chemistry together on the team? Trey Jones, Kobe had really good chemistry. Kobe and Io have always had great chemistry as well. Josh Giddey and Modest, if you would have asked me that a month and a half ago, I would have said Josh Giddey and Modest, they had great chemistry, and it seems like it kind of got affected a little bit. I think there are a lot of players that can. I think overall we have really good chemistry as a team. Random fact, Isaac Coro had Jimmy Butler's comps coming out of the draft. But that's why draft comps aren't the end-all, be-all. People hold on to those draft comps, and they are not the end-all, be-all. If I'm not mistaken, aren't we like 4 wins away from the 4th seed? Yeah, we are 3 games out of the 4th seed. 3 games out of the 4th seed. That's how tight the Eastern Conference is. That's why when people are like, oh, my God, it's all over. We lost 5 games in a row. Like, what? We in the Eastern Conference? Giddey going to be feeling some type of way if Kobe get more than him, and I don't blame him. He shouldn't because, A, Kobe's on his 3rd contract. Giddey's only on his 2nd. That's just the way it works. That's the way basketball works. Y'all be thinking players be in their feelings more about things than what they actually are. And I guarantee y'all, most players aren't as crybaby as most fans. I'm just going to be 100% honest. Most players understand that this is a business. And business got to get done. Just like how many people are like, oh, my God, Josh Giddey's going to hate this team now after making him go through these negotiations. No problem. He's right back where he needed to be at. No problems at all. Y'all got to get over some. The shit don't be as dramatic as y'all try to make it out to be. That's what I'm asking. Do you know how Noah's injury? No, I don't know how it happened at all. I think it was something that he was dealing with for a while, and that he could have tried to play through it, but I think they decided to go ahead and shut him down so he can have a full offseason. But I don't know exactly how it happened. What would you offer for Jonathan Kuminga? Vooch and condolences? A guy I haven't heard you mention as Tim protection is Goga Batazde as Tim protection. First of all, Crane, if Tim is coming to get your cookies, bro, you need more than Goga Batazde to protect you. If somebody named Tim is coming to get your cookies, bro, have you called the police? Is it Diddy? You got to make sure it's not P Diddy dressed up. What? That is hilarious. That is funny. He's used sparingly in Orlando. He'd be a great long-term fit here. That's the thing. I don't know if Goga is a every game center. I just don't know. He's solid defensively, make no mistake about it. But I don't know if he's somebody you can play every single game, tons of minutes. I haven't seen that. Now, there's something to be said that maybe he can be. It just hasn't been uncovered. I mean, you'll see. We'll see what happens there. Right, Giddey said last year he wouldn't blame Billy Donovan if he benched him down the stretch due to his bad defense. He was displaying earlier this season. That showed leadership. Exactly. Got me. I tried to delete to fix it. Oh yeah, you can't catch me slipping. Best believe if I see an opportunity to troll, I'm definitely going to troll your ass, and it's all out of love. You know, it's all out of love. I don't mean no harm by it. The Gogas had some okay hits in the 80s. That is hilarious. But all right, y'all, man, we're going to see what the Bulls can do today, if they can get shit locked in. Hopefully they can, man. I'd love to be able to talk about another Bulls win, especially, with missing Josh Giddey and Kobe White. They haven't announced the starting lineup yet. They're getting slower and slower with the starting lineup announcement, which is why I stopped making it part of the pregame show. The self-awareness of Giddey is something you wish every player had. Facts. No holes with that one. Whatever we end up in the draft, both Chicago Bears and Bulls badly need defense this offseason, man. The Bears need to revamp their defensive line, bro. You're talking, if the Bears had even a halfway, 32 teams in the league, if they had the 15th or 16th ranked pass rush, bruh, we'd be the favorites in the NFC possibly. So we need to target a center in the draft. Hopefully tonight is a good game, though. We'll see. We shall see. Do you have a preference of who do you keep as a backup, Big Collins or Jalen, depending on what we do with Vooch in a few weeks? Both. What do you mean? No, keep both of them. I've said it on the episode before, is that after the All-Star break, after the trade deadline, whether Vooch is on this roster or not, I would like to see the Bulls start Jalen Smith and Zach Collins as their starting front court. I'm just going to be on, bring Vooch off the bench. At that point, you're not shopping him anymore. You're not hoping some team's going to see him play and all of a sudden want to trade for him. If you can't move Vooch after the trade deadline, put him on the bench, start Zach Collins, start Jalen Smith, move Modest Buzelis to the 3. That's what I would do. And then the rest of the way, it's Giddey, Kobe, Modest, Jalen Smith, Zach Collins. I think that's not the perfectly balanced starting 5, but I think it gets you a nice mix of offense, defense in the starting lineup. You have the size, you have some rim protection, you got the rebounding thing. That's what I would do. My personal opinion. So, Jay Smith making a strong case to be our starting center next season. His center minutes aren't the best. He's better at the 4 for us. And I kind of want more actual rim protection at the 5. Man, if only we've gotten Parsons before the shitheads. That's funny. Hayes, do you think AK will ever stop drafting project players instead of NBA-ready college players? Derek Queen's 13-7 that he's averaging could have really helped us. Yeah, but he wouldn't have played here as a rookie. And how much has it helped the Pelicans win? I get it. But we're not going to act like Derek Queen isn't also a project. He is. He's more polished offensively, and that's really good because he does have that polished offensive game. But the Bulls weren't lacking offense; they were lacking defense. So, I've said it multiple times too. I think the Bulls have to start prioritizing floor and not just the ceiling. AK has gotten so caught up in high ceilings that sometimes he forgets to pick players with high floors. And at this point where the Bulls are, I would love to see a high floor pick. A player that at bare minimum, he's going to be this. He has the chance for his ceiling to take him a little bit further, but at bare minimum, he's going to be a double-double guy that can protect the rim for you. I'd love to see somebody like that for sure on this team and us draft somebody like that, but we shall see. We shall see. But all right, y'all. That's going to wrap it up for the pregame show today. We'll be back for the live call. Make sure you guys are following us at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'll catch y'all in a second. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.